Oh no. Shit. Hey everybody, it's Pajama Life with our review of Last Samurai Standing and Wicked. Let's go.
It's more important than ever that you lift everyone's spirits. The wand really sells it.
It's the Wicked Witch!
You can wave that wand all you want, but you have no real power.
I'm a public figure now. People expect me to
Lie?
be encouraging.
There's a house, and it's flying through the sky. I'm off to see the wizard.
Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Pajama Life. I'm Pajama, and this guy is Patrick. Say hey.
Hey, everybody. Glad you're here. Got some good stuff to talk about tonight. Missing our friend Dave is not here tonight, but glad to be here. I'll try to do two people's work tonight.
All right. So tell me your thoughts on Wicked.
Well, okay. I remember reading the book back in the 90s, early 90s, late 80s when it came out, and thought it was a really interesting concept, the idea that nobody's not the hero of their own story. And it was a great, because everybody had always seen The Wizard of Oz growing up like I did all those years, and it's always the Wicked Witch is terrible. And, but she wasn't terrible in her own mind, you think. And, it was a great concept. And the musical aspect, great. This one had some very jarring sequences in it that was, a little bit not very Wizard of Ozzy, I guess. For sure, some of the body transformation, there was some body horror kind of stuff kind of going on, which was appropriate for what was happening. Really, I did enjoy it. I'm not a big fan of the musical per se. I do love musicals in general, though, absolutely. But this one was just never one that really was on my radar for whatever reason. Really good, well done. Production values spectacular, and I mean, it really did highlight how these two people grew up together and went different paths, but at the end, they're still pretty friendly, even though they're trying to do the right thing for both of their viewpoints. It was really, I enjoyed it a lot. Can't hear you. You're muted.
Oh, I had problems with this. Okay. And we'll talk about the parallels with Last Samurai Standing, because this one, I didn't enjoy it as much as the first one. I felt like the Glinda character was truly the villain throughout. And you got to see her ascension to full villain status by the end. She had a lust for power, and she took it. She betrayed her friend at every turn. She was aligning herself with the evil power structure for her own gain, and just was an overall awful person. I just did not care for her. And Elphaba, she was like, all throughout the movie, I was like, girl, you're trying to save her. She's not your friend, she's your enemy. She's your covert enemy the whole time. She wanted to steal her power because she had no power of her own. And so she set out to take everything from Elphaba. Think about it. She took her sister, She destroyed her relationship. She got her ridiculed and in fear in the city. She sided with Warble to fake her power. And then at the end, she was exiled. But then always up in her face. I was like, girl, bye. She was the worst character in this whole thing. And I was just shocked that nobody is talking about it. And let's look at this as a political thriller. So, and think about it in terms of modern day. What Black woman do you know trying to warn the citizens about an evil dictator who's going to harm the citizens of the country? Who didn't listen? And meanwhile, she's fighting for the others, but no one else is. So she gets, what happens to her? She gets exiled and sit out. I was like, I don't like this at all. This is reading like too crazy to me right now. And I did not care for these subtle messages of ambition at all costs. I didn't think Fierro was great because he should have stood up a long time ago and did what he needed to do. So I wasn't too fond of him. I was just like, I don't like none of these people. Only one I like was Dulcimer, the bear. She tried to tell her, girl, come on with us. These people don't give a damn about you. Just leave and don't put up with this. Oh no, I have to save them. I was like, girl, listen to your nanny who actually loves you. I was like, and then what did they do to Fierro? Oh, I won't spoil it. But they stole his looks. And I was like, you can't be fine and be with a black woman. I was like, man, get out of here with this. This is some BS. Boo, for wicked for good. And then she got to be evil for good to try. What good? I was like, girl, bye. This is terrible. Okay, that's my take on Wicked. Don't watch it. See,
if anybody goes to watch this and doesn't know kind of what the storyline is, I mean,
don't tell
obviously you pay attention. I mean, I will say that the first one had the better songs because that was they loaded kind of just because the way that they were set up in the musical.
Yeah,
the bigger, more memorable, more on everybody's tongue type of songs were in the first half. Second half had some good bits, I mean, yeah, Glinda was terrible. I thought I would say the Elphaba's sister was worse.
Oh my God, yes. Oh, I forgot about that thing.
I mean, Glinda, you can see how maybe society pushed her into that, but man, Elphaba's sister was the worst. Horrible. She was the worst.
The worst.
Way worse. Yeah, way more so. But and at the end, I don't remember the book good enough to remember how the ending happened, but it wasn't like I thought it did. So you just let that go at that.
I thought it was clever how they did it. I thought that was very clever, but it couldn't make up for all the BS I saw before that. So this is a cautionary tale for Black women to sit back and enjoy your life and quit trying to save everybody. That's right. Let people save themselves. They'll appreciate it more. All right. That was some BS. So next up is the number one series in the world, from what I understand. Last Samurai Standing.
Are you going to draw your sword again?
I found a job that could bring in some money. I'll come back to you.
Your skills, heart, and physical strength shall be tested in a game tonight. Nothing is off limits.
Do you want to survive?
I do, yes.
I'll keep you safe.
And begin!
Ooh, interesting. Pat, what did you think of Last Samurai Standing? Part 1.
It was as if the Tom Cruise Last Samurai had met and had a baby with Squid Games, because it was Squid Games in that time period.
Just because
That's
it has
exactly what it
samurai
was.
in the title.
Because nobody said I volunteer as tribute, but it's definitely Hunger Games, Squid Games, all that. It was just that. I mean, don't get me wrong, loved it totally. You know, immersed in it, loved it a lot, watched it straight through. I mean, like I said, the action sequence is super solid. Really, it had a
Yes.
good grounding in history. I don't know how much the people were the same people and stuff, but the power structure in that turbulent period when they transitioned from a old school dictatorship, I guess, for lack of a better word, a kingship type of emperor, down to the more Western style democracies with the emperor as a figurehead, but the figurehead was still in charge. I mean, really, really good. I did enjoy it a lot. Like I said, the fight sequences, you saw some of them there, really well done. Great villains, by the way. There was, I mean, it had everything I liked from like an old Kurosawa film.
Yep.
The Seven Samurai had that feel. You had different characters who come from different walks of life trying to make their way or whatever. And then the cholera was a big thing apparently back then. And
Yeah.
was.
People forget
And
about
I mean, it was.
cholera.
Yeah, well, I know. It does not sound great, but it was just really well done. And and my understanding of this was originally not in English. I couldn't tell the dubbing was so well done. It was just as a
Yes.
technical aspect. Really enjoyed that.
Oh, I'm glad you
So
said that.
I loved it. I mean, like I said, I'm a big fan of martial art films, and this kind of really was in my
Me
wheelhouse.
too.
Totally loved it.
I really love this. I mean, the political intrigue of it, mixed with the martial art, mixed with the sword play, and the actor, um, Saga, apparently was in J6, the boy band from back in the day. So, yeah, and I mean, he's a fantastic actor, and I think that this story is so interesting because I did kinda wonder, what happened to the samurai? I mean, they were so powerful, and then you just they just disappeared. But now we get a glimpse into, it's fictionalized, but I think is in part based on some historical factors. But the story of the Kodoku, and I just thought that was really interesting about how a school, if the master died and didn't leave somebody, as a successor, then they would fight it out, and whoever was left would be the last one to teach the method. I was like, "That's some craziness." Um, but I really like how you said that the voice actors for the English dubbing. I mean, Iroha, I had it pictured in my mind. It was exactly her voice was how I pictured her. And so that was really cool. Really great actors. And that the intrigue of the story really was what was interesting to me. Of how they manipulated the situation to get to where they were. Um, this next part is some spoilers, so if you haven't watched it all the way to the end, turn the sound down because I want to talk about the parallels between the Wicked story and this last Samurai Standing. Because I think it was very intriguing how these I didn't realize until I watched both of them, and I was like, oh, this is very similar because you have a villain in each who is undercover. You can't tell who it is, but they're guiding everything to get to the change that they want to see for their country. Whether or not that's good or not, they had a hand in everything that was going on, good and bad. And then also the protagonists, both protagonists were fighting for the other, right? Uh, Elphaba was fighting for the animals and for people to really understand what was going on with the wizard. And Sega was fighting for his family and the other people so that he could understand the bigger game and what was going on. Um, and how power corrupted the two villains. That Glinda was corrupted by power. When she didn't get what she wanted, then she turned on everybody. You see, she got rid of all of her enemies by the end of the movie. Same thing with I won't say who the villain is in this one, because it's really fascinating to figure out who the villain is in Last Samurai Standing. But they really were corrupted. And I would say corrupted by the European power structure. And some jealousy, I feel like, of the samurai. Um, and so I thought that was a really interesting look at it, but also you see this um, betrayal and of their best friends, right? So the two villains were both betrayers of their friends and the protagonist. Um, and so it was, you know, it was so fascinating to look at these, even though one is in like feudal Japan and one is in, wonderful world of Oz, you get this parallel story about how power corrupts and how ambition can take a normal person and turn them into this horrible political animal. I thought that was interesting. Pat, what do you think about that analysis?
Yeah. I mean, there's points to be made about the political types of. I mean, there's obviously you've got people that are out of power trying to become back in power. I mean, I didn't delve into it quite as deeply as you did. I was just always every time they mentioned the guy's name, Kokushu the Manslayer, and that was his name. I was like, that is the best title ever you can have for a character. I'm like, dude, why hasn't everybody been Patrick the Manslayer or whatever? I mean, dude, this guy and the whole idea, that the people that train together become rivals. There was that parallel, obviously, because both Glenda and
Yep.
Ethalba trained together but only one of them had talent, and then you had not just one, but a couple people from this Last Samurai Standing that showed up, that were all part of the original group of intimate students, that were, and there's a couple outstanding questions that are going on through that I'm not going to bring up because someone may not have watched it yet. And maybe I missed it because it was a long, it was like 6 episodes I had to watch back to back to back to back, which has been great because we've been off work for a couple days, with the holidays. So I had a little bit of time to actually get caught up on some things. But yeah, it is interesting to see how there was power dynamics shifting in both of them. You had the power dynamic of the wizard transitioning out, under duress perhaps, and then you had the samurai class being wiped out because of just societal pressures at that particular point, where they didn't have the shogunates that they used to have. Now we have an emperor, and you have all these governors of regions and things that happened, and this really happened, and that's how the samurai just kind of went away. Then they were out, the swords were outlawed.
But it was also a corporate takeover too.
Right. The Zaibatsu and came through and did their thing, which was the westernization of Japan, which, man, there ain't a lot we've done in Western civilization that's been that great. I'm just going to tell you.
Yeah. Did you catch the name of one of the powerful people? It was Mitsubishi.
Oh,
and
well, that makes sense.
Like, oh, snap.
Well, you start thinking about it because they were the ones that made all the motors for all the Japanese airplanes too during World War II. I mean, very big arms producer. So I mean, yeah, it was really interesting to see.
Fascinating.
It was. I've read some stuff about that history, and it was interesting. And I, of course, have never heard about the Hunger Games version of the Japanese version of the Hunger Games, but apparently there was one. If this is true, but I know it wasn't true, but maybe, or was it? Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy. They were both. I enjoyed both the movies, or the movie and the series. I don't know. You could even say the movie was a series. So it was 2 movies and a whole thing. So I mean, they were both well done. They both took the time they needed to do with what they had, and the parallels are a bit of a stretch sometimes, but on a great geopolitical scale, I guess they are similar.
Yeah. Well, I think it's something interesting to look deeper into the messaging of what we're seeing now, and some of the conservative messaging, some of the political undercover messaging that we're seeing. So that's what I want to kind of highlight and reveal. And if you agree or disagree, write it in the comments below and let's have a discussion of it. And that will be it for us this week. Next week, we're going to look at hot stealing and maybe Stranger Things. We'll see. And Pat, say goodnight to the people.
Everybody, hopefully y'all had a great Thanksgiving. Everybody's safe, warm, and full of food. So see you next week.
And our buddy David will be back next week, hopefully. And we'll see you next time. Take care. Don't go saving people who don't deserve to be saved. Take care.